Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the Hot Stocks Outlook for October 12th, 2018. Hope you're all having a great week in the financial markets, and as always, a lot to cover in this week's Outlook. So we're going to start here with Goodyear Tire. We've got Brunswick, Barrick Gold, Nike, and also Williams-Sonoma. But let's go ahead and start here with Goodyear Tire. And what we've seen throughout the markets is a lot more downside volatility. And what's great about all of the tools here is we actually have tools that can scan for these indicators. And what we see is a lot of markets moving to the downside, getting you ahead so that you can start either shorting stocks, taking profit on your longs, and really being prepared for a lot of this market weakness we've seen. But in this example, Goodyear Tire, you see you get this crossover between these two values. Now, the black line that you see on the chart, that is a regular or simple or referred to as the actual simple moving average. So what that does is really just plot past prices and lags behind the market, and is a good summary of where market prices have been. But what we're able to compare that to is this blue value against these daily bars and candles, which is actually utilizing predictive data generated via this artificial intelligence process and looking forward of where are prices expected to move in the future. So when that predicted moving average, that blue line crosses below the black line, you know the trend is to the downside. And you know within this software product, you have a lot of features that allow you to scan for these crossovers. And when you do that along the overall the equity markets, looking for crossovers, matching neural index indicators that you see here at the bottom, that's how you can find new opportunities. And you see a lot of weakness as all of those crossovers start to come through those scans and indicate overall market weakness. But in addition to that predicted moving average, you have this predicted neural index. You see a red or green configuration here at the bottom of the chart, and that is an extremely accurate 48-hour indicator. So it's only looking ahead a couple days ahead of time, but that's letting you know, hey, should you expect some strength or weakness in the market? Should you allow prices to move towards you rather than sort of chasing things down as far as trend goes? Well, here in Goodyear Tire, you see a nice crossover to the downside there, indicating the trend is now short. And we'll see also how these predicted levels, you're actually provided a predicted high and low trading range for each and every trading day, how this all works together. If I go ahead and bring up those levels from this point here, you see how this works, where all of these levels are provided before the trading day occurs. So you understand that, hey, if you're coming in to short on this day, you want to come in at these predicted highs, this day, over here, over here, over here. The trend has never moved to the upside, and you see some short-term strength forecast in the market. And you see you're running sideways, getting close to those predicted highs, but then things really move to the downside. And the last thing you want to be doing right now is getting long in the equity space when so many markets now are having these crossovers to the downside and signaling there's weakness. You want to go ahead and skew that portfolio, in this case, to the short side of the market here. So we see really nice move to the downside, about 11, almost 12% move in a very short period of time, just 9 trading days. But you really don't want to be long in this market environment. You can avoid a lot of that weakness and just wait for cheaper prices where you can go ahead and start adding in to your positions once again. Here's Brunswick here in very similar situation. Now, the thing is, equities really started selling off about 5-6 days ago, whereas a lot of these stocks really started to turn down before that. And you see Brunswick here, you've got your crossover to the downside, neural index at a 0, and as long as there's that separation between that predicted moving average and the actual, the trend is still lower, but you see how this works. The neural index pops up to a green configuration. You get some sideways action, but the trend is still very much to the downside. And once all those indicators line up, you see a lot more of that weakness playing into shares. So again, it's all about understanding, okay, well, what should you as a trader expect rolling forward? And again, looking towards intraday levels. So you see these intraday predicted highs and lows guiding you intraday of letting you know, okay, well, we're at a level where you can set some shorts, have your limits, just waiting in the market with the limit orders so that you can get picked up at the appropriate price and exploit that opportunity or that trend that you're looking to trade there. Again, another about 11% move from those predicted high levels. And that's really the benefit, is not having to run a huge stop, but understanding where you can play within these ranges and whether you should hold on to that position or not. But a lot of these 10, 15, 20% drops in the equity space. Now, Barrick Gold, one of the, just couple of markets we brought in last week as far as some strength, because you're not seeing a whole lot of strength in the broad-based equity space here. So you see Barrick Gold, nice crossover to the upside. You see you can get in around the $10 range, and this thing really exploding to the upside as the gold market doing well and the volatility really playing into these shares. But again, you see you want a tool that's going to direct you to the places where, okay, you can focus on that directional bias and the appropriate trend and not get caught buying into shares like, very popular brands, even like here in Nike here. We've got crossover to the downside happening, what is now 12 candles ago, 2.5 weeks ago, you're getting a crossover to the downside, neural index here to 0, forecasting weakness in the shares. And you see how this works, where you're getting a little bit of strength coming in. This neural index pops up and says, expect some strength over those 48-hour periods, but the overall trend is to the downside, and make sure that your actions in the marketplace go in line with what you're seeing as far as these overall forecasts go, and go in line with your trading approach, your time frame, and how you like to deal with the markets here. So here in Nike, we have a really nice crossover to the downside, signaling, look, this is the time you want to go ahead and get short. And certainly we see this last candle here, not a good time to be messing around in shares of Nike. But whether you're an options trader or you just short the shares, this is where you want to be making those decisions and understanding, okay, here's where the opportunity is opening up, and use these levels to go ahead and make those trading decisions, guide your actions as that trade rolls forward. And you see all this weakness from that 48-hour indicator setting in, and things really getting weak and volatility really accelerating. 12% drop there in shares of Nike and Williams-Sonoma, another market from last week's Hot Stocks Outlook. And same thing is identifying these areas where there's weakness, and there's been weakness. That's where you can add in shorts to the portfolio, trail your stops on your longs, and really what's happening is you're getting stopped out of those longs, and the shorts are really accelerating to the downside here. So you see Williams-Sonoma, nice crossover over the past couple of weeks. You see, though, how your trading decisions are going to be impacted by these levels. So if you want to go ahead and add to your short positions on Williams-Sonoma, that's fine, but use these as a guide so that you can get really the best risk reward on trading off of these levels and adding to your position. So you see just a really nice move there in shares of Williams-Sonoma. I guess if we have, the overall move here, obviously accelerating about 13% move, but just over the past couple of days, this market dropping a few more percent there, going from about 64 down close to 60, and a lot of separation still between those predicted moving averages. So just a lot of opportunities opening up throughout the markets. If you're able to go short or buy put options, you're making a lot of money as far as this volatility really coming in to the marketplace. But also just as an aggregate, having a tool that's able to scan for these opportunities and recognize that, hey, things are shifting in the equity space, and therefore your portfolio or your trading, however you like to approach the markets, should shift and evolve with the updated forecast, with these tools that are really geared and structured to be as accurate as possible, so that you can make sure that you're making intelligent decisions based on what the probabilities are out there of shares moving higher or lower, regardless of the markets that you're going ahead and trading. So with all that covered, have a great rest of the week. A lot of exciting things going on. Thank you all for watching. Best of luck. This has been our Hot Stocks Outlook for October 12th, 2018. Have a great rest of the week. Thanks again, and bye for now.